What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we are going to be discussing a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a long time, but I just wanted to make sure that all of my thoughts on it were complete so that I could put together a coherent video for you guys so that you can better understand how my mind works when I'm thinking about these types of things. And this is a complex topic, all right? This is something that I have personally struggled with for years, and I still struggle to use the right vernacular in order to get my point across, all right? So what we're gonna be talking about today is the darkness inside of every man. Now that might sound like a very intense, foreboding topic, and it is. You know, when you dive into men's issues with things like mental health, you know, unaliving themselves, the feeling of meaninglessness that a lot of men experience, you know, feeling lost, feeling like they're not going anywhere in life, like they're not living with purpose, it quickly gets dark. It leads you down a dark path. And in this video, I am going to talk about how men not understanding their own nature is dramatically playing a role in all of these things. Men not understanding how their mind works, how their nature works. And actually, this is ultimately what I think can solve a lot of these problems, is men understanding their true nature. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of a deep dive on that. You know, from a young age, men are being taught to suppress their real nature. And I'm not talking about like not expressing their emotions or something like that, like where you go to a therapist and they're like, oh, you need to talk about it. You need to tell me how you're feeling, all that type of stuff. That's not what I'm saying at all. I am talking about not coming to terms with the darkness that is inside of you. The almost like person that lives within you that is incredibly dangerous. The person that lives within you that is quite scary. The person that not a lot of people really want to talk about, and a lot of people don't even want to admit that it exists within themselves. So what you need to understand is that as a man, you are a creature that is capable of horrific atrocities. Think about all of the history that you've read, all of the horrible things that we read about, all the way from the ancient wars, you know, in Greece, Rome, you know, even back to early Babylon, even before then, all of these crazy wars all the way up until the world wars, you know, and even the modern atrocities that are still happening in this day and age that we are incredibly disconnected from. All of these horrible things were committed by men. These unspeakable acts. This is our nature. These things are in the nature of every single man. But this is a crucial aspect to understand, because not accepting this will leave you not understanding a massive part of your own being, of your own existence. This is how your mind actually works. When you read through history books, you are reading about your predecessors. It may not seem like it, but you are reading about your same species. People will try to virtue signal this darkness away. People will say stuff like, oh, if I was in that situation, I never would have done that. You know, think back to World War II. Think back to the early Christians being persecuted. Think all the way back to Gilgamesh, so many different atrocities committed by men, and yet we like to virtue signal it all away and say, oh, I never would have done that. I'm much more civilized than that. Never. Even if I was in their same exact position, I would have acted differently. And I think that that's incredibly prideful. I think that that's incredibly ignorant. The truth is, we all would have done essentially exactly what all of these other men throughout history have done if we were in their same position. Because they are also humans. They were also men. So the chances that you would have done anything differently are incredibly slim. Now, this isn't wrong of you to admit this. In fact, this is a part of becoming a man, which is brutal honesty. Being honest about your own nature. Being honest about the tendencies that you have. Being honest about the destructive power that lies within you. As society has become far more civilized, we've gotten to a point where even slight competition is demonized in schools. And this aspect of our nature continues to become more and more suppressed. If you don't learn to channel this inner darkness and use it for good, use it for things like productivity, drive, and ambition, you will find that this darkness will turn inwards on you. And that is where all of these different problems come into play. When that darkness is not channeled properly, men start to self-loathe. They start to self-destruct when there is no outlet, when they are not being honest about their true nature. It will destroy you from the inside, and it will affect everybody around you negatively when you do not channel this into something good. You become erratic. You become emotional. You become someone that cannot control himself. He cannot control his thoughts. A lot of the battles that are fought take place in a man's own mind. But what I really want you guys to understand is that there is a beauty in this darkness. It points us to a great fix. Ultimately, it shows us that not everything is right and perfect. Not in the world, and definitely not in ourselves. You see, when we virtue signal, we lie to ourselves and we say, oh, I wouldn't have done that. I definitely wouldn't have done that in that situation. When that's not true, you are denying an aspect of your nature. It's okay to understand that everything isn't perfect, that we are not perfect beings. And ultimately, what I'm going to argue is that this points us to our Creator. This points us to our God. There is a missing puzzle piece. We are in need of a great fix. And ultimately, this is because we are made in the image of God. Because like our God, we are also wrathful, we are jealous, and we are dangerous. Our God is all of these things as well. Yet He can do them all perfectly. We, in our sin, in our fallenness, cannot express these emotions in their purest form. We get a dumbed down, destroyed version of it. But He can do it perfectly. In one of my favorite TV shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's this character named Zuko, and he's actually my lock screen on my phone. And I never knew why I had such a fascination with this character until I started to understand these principles. Zuko is this spiteful, bitter man that is obsessed with fulfilling his duty, with finding his purpose. But his purpose isn't what he thinks it is. He thinks that it's his purpose to capture the Avatar and kill him, bring him to his father, the Fire Lord, in order to restore his rightful place as king of the Fire Nation. As time goes on, he finds out that his ultimate purpose is actually to teach the Avatar firebending. It's completely the opposite of what he had thought. And there's this one specific episode where Zuko sort of transitions and he becomes this good guy. He starts fighting for what is right, and his power leaves him. His firebending abilities that he's become incredibly good at, all of a sudden just disappear. All of a sudden he's the worst firebender of all time. And he has to go on a quest to ultimately unlock his abilities while understanding just how dangerous the ability is, and understanding that he is no longer operating from the lens of bitterness. He is no longer operating out of selfishness. He is no longer operating out of anger. Now his fire burns pure. His purpose is different. His duty has changed. And this really, really spoke to me when I was a young man, because I didn't have the ability to articulate these principles that I'm trying to get across in this video. And so Zuko's story showed me something within myself that I didn't even know existed. And watching him have that transformation where he completely changes his purpose, and he also becomes somebody who is no longer operating out of the darkness. He is channeling it. He is channeling that violence and that anger into something that is positive, something that is going to change the world. We can align ourselves as best as we possibly can with our Creator and channel our darkness in many different ways. Number one, I'm really going to recommend this to every single man that is watching this. Be truthful even when it hurts. It feels like so much pressure is relieved. It feels like a burden is taken off your shoulders when you stop being nice and you stop walking on eggshells and you speak your mind. This is such a silly example, but when you're in the gym and you're trying to get a workout in and somebody is talking to you and they won't stop talking, tell them, hey man, I need to do my next set. Put on your headphones and do your next set. Be honest with people. Be truthful with them. This is just a step towards putting yourself in that alignment. You don't need to be nice like society tells you to. You've drawn these different lines, these different boundaries that are supposed to encourage you to operate a certain way in order to not hurt other people, when in fact, you not being truthful, you not being honest, you not being forthright and confrontational is hurting way more people in your life, and it's hurting yourself. So be truthful, be honest even when it hurts. We can come into alignment with our God by building our bodies, by building things, by working toward things, by taking pride in our work. If our God created us, then we are creators. We are supposed to go forth and create. We are supposed to go forth and build. We are able to control the way that our bodies look. Like, how cool is that? We control what we put into our mouths. We control what we do with our bodies in order to sculpt them a specific way, in order to take care of them. How cool is that? By learning to be dangerous, you also come into alignment with your God. Whether that's by learning martial arts, whether it's by learning how to shoot guns, whatever it is, you are capable of great danger. You are a dangerous individual. You are a dangerous creature. I'm not telling you that you should act on that, but you should have the capability for it. That is incredibly important. You need to seek out challenges. You need to seek out competition, things that push you to be better. Learning the judo moves and learning how to use darkness and turn it into good is what this is all about. Some of you guys may have heard my judo analogy multiple times now, but I'm going to say it again. Judo is a martial art where the goal is to use your opponent's momentum against them. And our God did the exact same thing on the cross when he used the darkest thing of all time, the crucifixion, to bring about the greatest form of good. So what better way can we come into our alignment with our Creator than realizing that that is our job? Our job is to take this darkness, this fallenness that is inside of us, this darkness that has the potential to burn a lot of people, the potential to hurt a lot of those around us, and instead learn to use it for good. Because if you don't learn to use it for good, it will burn you and it will burn everyone around you. So you must learn to channel it. It's not something that you can just continue to suppress. You can't just push it down. You have to accept your human nature, accept who you are as a man, and understand that it is up to you to play that game, to build, to create, and to flip that darkness on itself, to learn to channel it into productivity, into creativity, because that is what you were called for. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys thought of this topic. Make sure to drop a like down below as well, and drop a singular thumbs up in the comment section if you guys watched all the way through to the end of this video, because that means that you have an awesome attention span. You're a legend, my friend, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.